Hello everyone! My name's Illumi, and today I want to talk about where the Valorant lore might be going this year, as well as my excitements, concerns, and frustrations with lore delivery. Disclaimer, a lot of this video is going to be speculations on my part about where the story might go, so take all these theories with a large grain of salt. Okay, first off, I think with the esports Valorant Champions Tournament, VCT, having the grand finals in Paris, France this year means that we will most likely see a good bit of our Parisian agent chamber. Last year, with VCT Championship being held in Seoul, South Korea, we got to see more of Jet, who hails from Seoul. So, in line with that, I think we should see more chamber lore. Chamber has a lot of unanswered questions and secrets. We know that he has worked with his Omega Chamber counterpart to destroy the Everett Lynn facility, which is the map fracture, to prevent Alpha and Omega Earth from working together to research Radianite. We don't know his true motives for doing that, other than he felt it was a necessary thing to do for an ultimate good. However, not even the Valorant Protocol knows that the Chambers were the ones to destroy it. So perhaps we will get some lore in that direction, either about his motives or about the Valorant Protocol finding out and what happens from there. Or maybe we will finally find out why Neon loathes Chamber so much. Chamber views the team as his chess pieces to move around to his own strategy, but what happens if this year the table gets turned? In the V25 trailer, we saw both Chamber and Jet holding their hands up to a mirror or looking glass to see their reflection, which I think represents their Mirrorverse self. Part of me thinks this might be a hint at another meeting between the Mirrorverse agents that isn't strictly Battlefield related. We also see Chamber and others fighting in what looks to be some areas in Paris, but they're fighting some group of people we have never seen before. So perhaps a new bad guy group has entered the stage and we'll be seeing Chamber spearhead the fight against them. What if this is a segue into a new PvE mode where a squad of 5 agents go up against this group of bad guys? I feel like it's just wishful thinking on my end, but what do you think? With 2025 being the year of the snake, I could also see some more Viper lore coming to light as well. We've got a decent bit of lore on her, especially after we found out about Omen's past and how he tried to kill her. We know that they resolved the anger between them, but we were ultimately left in the dark on the specifics of that resolution. Maybe more of it will come to light. Or maybe we'll get to learn more about Vice, who knew Viper back from their days of working at Kingdom. They don't seem to be on great terms, so I would love to know more about Vice's past and what went down between these two scientists. We also have been getting some hints about the interverse being a more explored topic this year. With Gecko and ISO's release, we got a glimpse into the interverse, with Gecko's pals being radivores who can access the interverse, as well as ISO's ultimate taking an enemy into an arena within the interverse. Vice joining the team showed us that she once did extensive research on the interverse, so perhaps we'll hear more from her about it, especially with these voicemails from her.
I finished reading through Valorant's interversal documentation, and your research is borderline amateur. Your findings on seismic fluctuations, isotope decay, even organic substrates are all objectively wrong. My team and I had a more comprehensive understanding in all these fields over a decade ago. Has there been no more work done? This is one of the most intriguing fields of scientific research, and all I see from this team, your team, is apathy and atrophy. I will spearhead this project. I will teach you all about my work, and you will thank me. My interversal probes have been sending me improbable readouts all day. I initially assumed I'd encountered a malfunction, but the readings spiked on each of the probes in sequence, like a wave rolling through a string of buoys. They're calibrated correctly, and I validated the software. They're working as intended. Something is affecting the interverse, Brimstone, and these readouts seem similar to those my former team gathered the day that... Call me back. Something is happening. I need to know what.
Since we really know so little about what the interverse is, other than it's a dimension only radivores and ISO seem to be able to access, I'd love to find out more about it. With the most recent patch 10.01, we got a better glimpse into Teho and Brim's relationship, which is seriously strained at best. However, in Brim's email to KJ, he says that Teho's source claims we've missed multiple incursions, but that they aren't from Omega Earth's Valorant Legion trying to infiltrate. It's someone else. I wonder if it's that other group that we saw in the trailer, and it seems like a perfect time for them to dive into whatever this new storyline might be. And if it is this unknown group we saw in that trailer, maybe a PvE or story mode isn't that far-fetched. Sighs and copium. Anyway, I think we will definitely be diving more into Brim and Tejo's past in the coming updates. The end of the Battle Pass also shows us a teaser card for a new agent. It seems super quick to already be getting a new agent teaser since Tejo literally just released, but I think their goal is to showcase a new agent at VCT Masters Bangkok, which will take place from February 20th to March 2nd. My guess is that we will start getting more teasers when Masters starts, and then at the final match on March 2nd, they will reveal the new agent, kind of like they did with Clove at Masters and Vice at VCT Champs last year. Now for my speculations on this new agent. The card is called Prismatic Pathways, and I think they will be a duelist. Why? Because the last 3 agents we have gotten were Clove, a controller, Vice, a sentinel, and Tejo, an initiator, which means a duelist should be on the horizon if they continue that pattern. My current speculation about the lore of this new agent is that maybe it's Tejo's source that Brim talks about in his email. Of course, I must throw out that perhaps it's Agent 8? The only reason I think the new agent could be the source that Tejo has is because the source knows about incursions that have been happening on Alpha Earth that the Valorant protocol has not seen. Ones that have slipped past the radar of Killjoy. But remember that the general public on Alpha Earth doesn't know that a mirrorverse exists. So this source knows about the mirrorverse and also knows that we can travel there and back, as well as being able to monitor those who were traveling back and forth. I wonder if the new agent is a Radiant who can themselves travel back and forth without needing the teleportals. Something about the card being titled Prismatic Pathways seems to lend itself to some kind of travel, maybe? Or perhaps one of their abilities is similar to Bard in League of Legends, who can create little paths to travel through. Perhaps hinting to us that this is a new movement and entry type of duelist. What do you think? As for other places the lore might go this year, there are of course the other loose threads in the lore that the dev team could choose to pursue. There's Yoru's long-lost ancestors, there's that missing person that Fade has been searching for, there's Astra and the Astral Guardians, there's Breach, who we haven't gotten any real lore on in ages, there's Sage, whose life force we don't know where it comes from, there's Reyna, whose little sister is ill, and there's Agent 8, who we know so little about and is still missing. My point is, there are a lot of options for the lore to go, depending on the story and pace the team wants to share it at. Now for my concerns and excitements about the lore this year. One thing I will say is that we have recently been in a lore drought. Over the holidays, the agents went on break, and so we only got a little lore about the fun things they did while on break. I think it was an attempt at some slice of life lore content, but because there wasn't much detail about it, it fell a little flat. That's not to say I'm not thankful for the lore we got, because it really is fun to learn more about the agent's personal habits and hobbies. And I know other games have gotten their lore ignored for ages, like Overwatch. But I'm really hoping that we come out of this lore drought in 2025. David Nottingham, also known as Riot King Cut, tweeted that 2025 was going to be a big year for the lore fam, so I'm hoping that proves true. That this is just the startup to something big in the lore for the community to enjoy. Especially since we haven't gotten a true cinematic since Episode 8's release. There have been episode trailers and agent trailers, but we haven't gotten a true cinematic in a while, which has been a bummer for the community. Oddly enough, when they dropped the Initiate V25 video, the original title read, Initiate V25, Season 2025 Kickoff Trailer, as you can see by the announcement of a Valorant YouTube video dropping in the lore community's Discord. However, if you look at that video now, it's titled Initiate V25, Season 2025 Cinematic Kickoff Trailer. I don't know how to see when a title was changed on a YouTube video, so I'm not sure when this change occurred. My guess is either they mistitled the video and so they changed the title once they realized it was wrong, or they changed the title when there were people upset that it was yet another new season of Valorant without a cinematic. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here, but it still feels kinda sad to me. How about y'all? I can tell that the team tried to drop a lot of lore in the trailer though, so I'm hoping that's just the prequel to full cinematics, or something to give us more of the story and personality behind each agent here soon. However, now that episodes are gone and we have V25, which is a year-long season, it feels harder to predict when the possibility of a new cinematic will be. Maybe halfway through the year when they implement a hard rank reset? I'm not really sure how the cadence might change with this new V25 season. Now for some exciting news. In the dev update, they mentioned this.
All right, before we wrap this up, let's talk story. When we launched Val, we had the beginnings of a universe. We had ideas of where we could take it, of where it could go next. But it was important to us that you wanted to know more about it too. We've seen you engage with our world, with our agents and their stories, with your fan art and your theories and your clips and your sometimes borderline salacious fan fiction. We know about that. We know about the e-dating too. Over the course of this next year and beyond, you're going to see us experimenting with even more ways to bring the Valorant universe to life. There is a story we want to tell this season, a journey we'd like to take you on. It'll show up in some familiar places like agent voice lines, stuff that shows up on the maps, different cinematics, and it's going to show up in a bunch of different places, ones we hope you'll discover along the way.
This is super exciting, as it seems they have plans to give us more lore and a new way to get lore sometime this year. As of right now, we get lore through cinematics, trailers, Easter eggs on maps, and the voicemails and emails that are left in Brim's office in the range with each new patch. We've also occasionally gotten audio logs in Cypher's office too. I'm hoping we get a fun new way to experience the lore. Some ideas I have as for how we could get new lore might be hoping for a bit too much, but hey, a girl can dream, right? For example, it would be super cool to have a story mode for the game. Or if we got to explore more Valorant HQ and see all the agents' rooms and common areas, or maybe the range will expand to include Viper's office in addition to Brim's. Do y'all have any other ideas of what the new lore delivery might look like? Overall, I feel like we have definitely been in a lore drought recently, and it's not super fun for the player base of lore fans. And for many new people wanting to learn more about the lore, it can be difficult to know where to even start. But I am hoping that this is just the valley before a mountain of lore. This is Valorant's 5-year anniversary, and I hope that means we are in for a treat. If what the devs have said holds true, it sounds like we are. Let me know your theories, thoughts, excitements, and concerns down below, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more lore content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Bye!